Hi there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Today we're going to talk about how to use contribution SOAP framework. Step 1, story to supersize and grow your business. This is one of my favorite frameworks nowadays. I've got it actually operating in my subconscious at this point. I've been using it for going on 6 years. Started using it in the pandemic year, 2020, as a way to keep me moving forward, dealing with challenges, setbacks, obstacles, situations, goals and objectives, things that I wanted to accomplish and keep doing, but were prevented from doing because of outside forces, aka the COVID pandemic, right? Which impacted billions of us on the planet in ways that we will not understand until probably 10 years in the future from now. And that's, 5 years later, because of all the craziness and things that were done in ways that had never been done before. So there was billions of people on the planet reacting to things that we never even considered as a possibility. At least that was my position. So I came up with, and I always had a problem solving process that I used, mostly some on the surface when it was something that got my attention, but mostly on a subconscious level. And I realized I needed to find a way to deal with things as they came up proactively instead of reactively, because there was so much chaos in all of our lives that I found myself reacting, and that didn't feel right to me. And reacting to things in a negative way that weren't necessarily negative, they were just different. And I needed to find a process to handle those things in a conscious, positive way so that I would get results that I wanted instead of just reacting in the instant. And I'd get a result, but it wasn't necessarily the result that I wanted. So I came up with this little framework, the SOAP framework. And the first step of that is what's going on? What's the current situation? What is my story about, or what is the story I'm telling myself about this situation? In this case, we're going to think about the overarching area of contribution for our business. What's going on? Are we as a business doing anything? Are we giving back to the communities that we live in? And if we are, or if we have in the past, how often do we do it, etc.? What are the facts about what we're doing right now and have done in the past? What's worked for us? What hasn't? If we're not doing it on a regular basis and we haven't put a program and consistently created something, why not? Why not, right? And do we see the value in it, etc.? So what is the current situation? We're going to write a paragraph about that today. And then the other side of that, to really be creating what we want in our business and in our life and the results that we want to write a paragraph about, well, what do we want our contribution to be? What do we want our organization to be known for? What do we want our collection of people, our business, whatever it might be in your life, what do we want people to know that we stand for and we stand against, right? Now, it's really easy for people to find things they stand against and then stand up for that and cause all kinds of ruckus and rigmarole. But that's what most people do. What if you stand for creating more of something positive in the world and you build toward that? What if you make a war on something good and positive and take all that energy and do the flip side of it? Create the flip side of it instead of bitching, moaning, and complaining about what is right now. I guess that's my editorialization for today. So we create our current versus our desired story. I call it our C to D story because that forms the gap between where we are and where we want to be. What happens when we realize that there's that gap? Well, the energy and everything in the universe and people in our organization, we all start to feel this pressure that pulls us toward what we want instead of keeping us stuck in where we are right now. So I challenge you to be brutally honest with yourself and your organization today, whether you're doing this by yourself or you've got a group of people. I recommend that businesses, especially smaller business owners, get a group of people together and do this challenge together and realize that the power of doing it as a team is so much greater, exponentially greater than just doing it by yourself. But doing it by yourself is important because it helps you in your personal life as well as your professional life, and as well as you as a leader learn so much and gain so much by being a better version of yourself. And even if you don't involve anyone else, you are becoming better and setting a great example for the rest of your organization. And you'll start talking about the things that we're talking about, and you'll start sharing the concepts that you're learning. And that's what this is all about. All right. Any questions? What is our current story? brutally honest, be honest. And what is our desired story? And you know what? Be brutally honest with your desired story too. If right now is not the time in your business because you've got some emergencies or something going on to worry about contribution, I challenge you to just go through the steps, set up the framework, and then in your calendar, commit to yourself to come back to and revisit this area. But I will tell you, the secret is if you are contributing to the world in a positive way and putting out positive energy and sharing and helping others to grow and learn and become better versions of themselves as individuals as well as part of your organization, that in and of itself can be what helps you over the hump of whatever challenge you might be currently facing. All right, because what we put out into the world is what we get back. So if we're just focusing on the problem and freaking out all the time and reacting, we're not going to get the results we want than if we took 15 minutes a day to focus strategically on what I'm talking about and then actually doing it. It doesn't even take 15 minutes. You can do it as you're going about your day. All right. Any questions, ask. Always have an awesome day, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.